Hey, yo, what it do? What it do? It's your boy Q, and welcome on in for the start of the NECC season. We got some Valorant action for y'all here in just a moment. Of course, wouldn't be nearly as fun if I was doing it all by myself. I got the homie Nerds with me for some Waynesburg action. Nerds, how you feeling, big dog?
Excited to see Waynesburg back again at another season here at NECC, and they're going up against. I love this name. I love this college just off the name. It gives a lot of personality. It's Curry College. And honestly, that sounds awesome. But they're currently in division, I believe. I'm bad at Roman numerals. IX. That's got to be
Nine.
6,
Nine.
9. Hey, I know how to do. I know. Listen, I know my ones and my twos. I don't know my X's and my lines, but Division 9. So it's going to be a little bit of it's a fun time here. We talked a bit about the seating, I think, behind the scenes, and to bring it up onto the broadcast. I feel like, Waynesburg has been doing really well, right? They are one of the top seeds within the standings. Curry College, I believe, is lower in the standings, 7-2 in terms of the standing divisions. Waynesburg being the second seed in this division is honestly a huge up for them, right? It's a big bonus to start the season at the second seed spot. But regardless, that's just going to be the beginning of it. What they're going to play and what they're going to do is going to be unfolded on the server.
Should be a lot of fun here. Best of 3 action in case it's your first time through. Well, it's your first time through. Make sure you hit that follow button down the bottom right-hand corner. Turn those notifications on over here on the esports channel, where we're going to have quite a bit of action throughout the week, actually, here as far as for Waynesburg. We got Valorant today, Marvel Rivals tomorrow, Rocket League on Wednesday, and then we're going to have some Overwatch action as well on Friday. So make sure you're staying locked in. As I mentioned before, best of 3 action starting on Ascent. Nerds, what should we be expecting to see here on Ascent?
I'm hoping that we see double Senti, double something. It's probably going to be basic comps, but I hope not. In my heart of hearts, I hope we see Yoru at least, maybe in terms of a change of pace. Yoru Cypher, KO, maybe Sova. That would be a nice little switch up omen on both sides. Regardless, it might just straight up be the basic comp with a swap up of what Sentinel we see. Cypher has been seeing a lot of play recently. It depends on how deep the playbook for both these teams are. Realistically, a lot of the times in the NECC and as well as in collegiate, they tend to just stick with what works. And if you're comfortable on the static comp, you're just going to run the static comp. But if it is going to be static comp, they're just going to be playing really static, right? There's the depth of the playbook is going to be known, and at that point, it's just who's going to be able to execute it better.
Yeah, Ascent, of course, being one of those maps, tried and true. Do you feel like this is one of those maps that all 10 players on the server, let's be honest, you're playing collegiate Valorant, you should be pretty comfortable with this, and even as much as we do see the meta shifting back and forth, I think one thing that's always also interesting, as much as we do see, I think most schools typically stick to the at least traditionally to the meta. I also feel like sometimes in college you'll have a couple of kids who will be like the one side, like the one tricks off a meta that sometimes can be that ace in the hole to trick up the sleeve. So we'll have to get ready as we load on in. You had mentioned as far as for Waynesburg coming in as the 2 seed, should definitely be favored here. But it is week 1, man. I feel like still so early in the season, really too early to tell. I know we've got some returning faces from last year. But I'm excited to kind of see what's changed, what's still the same, and kind of see how the ebbs and the flows go as we get ready to head into map 1.
Speaking of maps, we actually get to find out Lotus is going to be map 2. Still waiting on that decider to come on, float on by into our feed. But Lotus is also going to be rather interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if we see something like Bind or Haven being floated toward the end. Definitely not an Abyss Corrode kind of vibe for the day. Realistically, Abyss being back in the map pool does not really feel like something that teams are really comfortable or ready with. Just so honestly, I feel like a lot of teams just are like, yeah, we'd rather play the basic maps of like Bind, maybe even Haven if another 3-site map. The decider is obviously, if we get to the decider, not a guarantee. At least we do get to guarantee ourselves Lotus. We'll talk more about Lotus when we get there, but I feel like the Ascent compositions will kind of tell us what we'll see on Lotus if there's something that's more creative. And we got the last map, of course. Haven makes a lot of sense. Really wanting to stick to the basics here.
Yeah, I mean, makes sense, right? Early on in the season, you mentioned earlier, depending on the depth of the playbooks here, as far as for our teams, even if you do have a deep playbook, I would imagine a lot of these teams probably not wanting to expose too much of it, especially I would imagine more so over on the side for Waynesburg, and for a couple of reasons here. One, you are playing a lower seed. You probably walk in. I don't want this to be like a trap game where you overlook the opposition, right? But you probably feel pretty comfortable coming in against a Curry College. But two, when you do look forward through the rest of the season in NECC, more importantly, next week playing against Mercyhurst varsity squad, which is the number one seed in Division 9, I feel like you're probably going to want to try and at least keep one or two things up the sleeve that you can move forward with next week that you don't show this week.
I would hope so, right? But at the same time, sometimes that's a thing of like, you don't really know how a composition is going to work until you try it out. I realistically think that I'm gonna say that they don't have too much of a playbook. That's like my initial gut call. Like that is my initial like gut call of like, they're most likely not gonna have one until like later in the season. It's either that or they are immediately gonna start off with something really wonky. I don't know. Maybe some teams are watching champs. Maybe some teams are watching challengers in some other leagues and whatnot, and are getting those picks up and doing double duelists or maybe double senti comps on Ascent. But double initiator has been so tried and true, especially on a map such historical map structures that we've seen, and Ascent being the most historical one. Realistically, I don't believe, like, I just don't believe that we're gonna be seeing out of Curry, honestly, because I don't know, right? We don't know them. For Waynesburg, it might be the entirely opposite thing. They've been a really solid contender, and this is the Waynesburg stream, so giving them a little bit more props makes a little bit of sense. But in terms of the full sense, I am gonna give it to them just off of the fact that they have probably scrimmed a little bit longer and have the same core that's coming in.
Exciting to see as we get ready to load on in, chat. We should be loading. It should be here just a moment or two. I know we just finished up map bans here just a couple of minutes ago. I believe we are waiting as far as for Curry College to be all wrapped up and ready to roll. So we do appreciate your patience. I guess while we're waiting, again, just kind of looking forward through to the rest of the weeks. Moving forward, I feel like when you have, I guess, not so big of a challenge week number one, you go against the number one seed in week two. Next week gives them a lot of indication as far as where they sit for the rest of the semester. So I think you get a nice warm up game here. Again, looking back through the maps here as far as today, Ascent, Lotus, Haven, they should all be relatively familiar with it. I'm not sure if I got much faith in us actually getting to Haven. I feel like from what we've got last year carrying over, I think that we're ready to roll on into it. But let's go ahead and start looking at Agent Select here. We're getting ready to move into map number one.
Yo, Breach, Clove, Neon. Waynesburg is cooking. I mean, I said that we were going to see something different. I had no faith in Curry, but I guess I should have had a bit more faith in the compositions, because we are seeing a Fade, Chamber, Reyna, Phoenix. Like, this is a weird but pleasant thing to see.
Always love to see not only when you have a kind of off meta picks, which then will kind of give us a look at a lobby similar to what might actually be lining up here. Almost unique compositions. Looks like potentially Reyna being the only agent that we have on both sides of the server here potentially. One thing that is worth pointing out, not only versus the 2 versus 7, but I'm wondering as far as having the slower lock-in on the agent select side, I do believe it was Curry that was looking for a sub. It kind of went up to the last minute. Makes me wonder as far as how much chemistry you have, or if they had that player potentially rocking an agent that we aren't used to them running here. But as they are looking to lock in on the opposite side, very interesting composition even from them over there. Kind of interesting to see what they're working with.
So instead of having the Reyna mirror, it's the Neon mirror, which I find fascinating. I mean, in terms of what we have of utility, I think Clove has really good smokes. Astra, refreshable on all 4 of the utility pieces. On mainly like better smokes, and has 4 utility pieces. Realistically, for that composition that we just saw, I think both teams are just going to be really big wild cards. Like, there's not much else to say other than like we'll have to see how it gets, how it plays when we get into it. I mean, both teams are running double duelists, so double duelist means they're going to try and probably exec a bit faster. Like right now, they're setting themselves up. It's a 5 stack all the way towards the A site. They have a little bit of pressure potentially towards mid with that neon, but it's still a big debate. I wonder just on the defensive side of if it's just a lot for retakes, or if they're going to try and hold their ground or take early fights for control. Definitely the duelists showed, right? Like TMO, right? Timo is out there preparing themselves for that fight early on towards A main.
Let's go and get down to it. Every game of Valorant starts the same. It's the pistol round. And just like you had mentioned, we are going to be looking over towards A. Timo be able to find themselves at least one. Jordan's going to be able to find a response. So still 4v4 is Waynesburg going to have at least a slow delay. The stun should hold them back just a little bit here. The question becomes, you to decide to pivot. It looks like that will be the decision. You had mentioned how you do have a little bit of potential mobility as far as with the neon, but the neon's actually sitting back, maybe potentially looking to try and cause enough sound to keep the defense established here today.
They call for that freeze. They go for the rotate as well. I mean, they've lost a really big piece of utility in that Reyna, right? You could throw bodies on bodies, but also just for the entry. And so now that they're gonna hit towards the B site, it's a good read considering that really early on Curry decided to rotate out, but it might just be a little late because Not Donkey's already here and ready for the fight.
That cross angle there as well from that top side towards mid market. Actually got Zombie. Fell, both kind of waiting at least for the smoke to drop, waiting for that option. Of course, now with less than 30 seconds, you don't have the ability to pivot back, but hold on, it's alert on that backside. Gonna be able to find two here actually, which will give the opening, the green light for Waynesburg to push on to site. The neon holding it down for the pound. Another headshot found, and at this point, it's all left to our Eternal Sam on the backside. Ghost in hand, gonna be able to find at least one, but they're gonna have to make a magical play here if they are gonna pull it off. Instead, Jordan with the 3K will secure round number 1 for Waynesburg.
Yeah, really, honestly, it was just a good rotate, and immediately Jordan finding the 3 on the walk up into the B pinch. I mean, they were just exploring to what they had. The reason they stalled for the timing and didn't go was because they wanted to have that mid exploration come to fruition for that pinch ahead of time. And I think that call was really smart off of Waynesburg because they were playing with disadvantage in terms of numbers. They had to go for some sort of play like that. We do see a myriad of potential buys, but nothing exactly locked in. No, I mean, a couple ghosts being purchased up here near the very end, but realistically, nothing super crazy.
Like to try and find similar success to what you'd had in the last round as far as being able to keep those many players left alive. Phoenix around the corner. Nice first opening pick to be able to open things up. With this time around, finding that opening pick, they might feel comfortable with this push onto A. They know that they... All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Sorry about that, but as you can see on your screen, Waynesburg has come out on fire. It's now 8-1. We might not have missed much, but holy.
I mean, I would say, I was gonna say press tab to see like what happened, and it's like,
I need this.
We don't a massacre, unfortunately, but regardless, there was one picked up by Curry, and you do got to give them a huge boon on the fact that they have 4 ultimates already stacked up. And Timo, man, why are words escaping me today? Phoenix has their ultimate 2 away from it potentially here for the side of Curry. Regardless, the ult combinations that we can see, maybe the Nightfall into the Overdrive out of Neon, Fade combos, those things can be really useful on the defensive retake. It's just a matter of how they play it, as we do see another walk up towards this A site.
As was what was working for them quite well before we had the technical difficulties. I don't know how much of these 9 rounds have all been over towards the side, but from the fact that they continue to at least set up over here, it feels like this is probably the bread and butter. And I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The Phoenix wall will at least separate a little bit here as far as for the Yellow Jackets, but because of that, they will actually pull things back, and looks like they're actually going to pivot through mid with 3 players leading the way there through courtyard as well.
I mean, just good map understanding. I think Waynesburg is very comfortable with the fact that they have the read that Curry's just gonna rotate every time. Like, they're just gonna rotate.
See here though, Reyna doing a great job as far as continuing to create enough noise and distraction. Has two defenders still kept over towards A, but one by one the kernels continue to fall. Curry left to Marvels as well as their Phoenix player, and they're both separated here. So that means once Fell finds this pick, they've got full control on B. They'll be able to get this spike down, and Phoenix has to work their way over from A here with a full squad of Yellow Jackets in front of them.
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna immediately just be picked off. Okay, wait a minute. Slowly being brought back potentially here in the 1v3, but the time is ticking away. That's the thing that's really gonna be a bit of a pressure point, and gets caught off guard. Jordan's gonna grab them. I mean, this is just dominance on a defense-sided map. You're taking it away on the attack side. It's again off a lot of early rotations that we see out of Curry. I mean, they did this prior to even the technical difficulties. They'd rotate really fast off of positions instead of going for clear fights, and I feel like love to see them go and stand their ground on a defensive hold, right? They have a lot of potential to just not read into a lot of the plays, right? Like, this isn't ranked. They're not just going to be going for a 5-man hit. Sometimes, you know, people default, people play the map, try to work their positions, which we've seen a bit of, right? Like, they just go for this A split so consistently, and they pivot out of the A split into B with such ease and comfort because they're able to get those initial engagements. Whereas for Curry, they have 5 ultimates. They could just play and hold their ground with some of the weapons that they have, even on the Thrifty.
I can't help but wonder how long they've been sitting on some of those ultimates as well. As Zombie gonna find one with the op. Jordan finds the heady on Snot Donkey, which means Curry already down to 3. Green light given as the whole team pushes here on to A. Door gonna go down as well to give them a little bit more of a sense of security. You've got both the Reyna and the Cypher sitting here at Tree. It's Jordan looking to cover the angle, but does get blinded as the other Phoenix steps through. And we'll be able to at least find one. Reyna also gets put down. Curry fighting their way back in this.
It's possible, but unlikely. With Zombie taking another out, we finally see an ultimate invested here as they try to break through.
They'll run it back. They will not find an opening frag, and they'll fall all the way back here. The line, though, might allow for them to find a third. Feeling good here, but they don't look to their left there, where Zombie was sitting, aiming down sight with the op. And what ends up being a surprisingly costly round for the fact that it was at one point 1v5 in that round, Waynesburg still at least get themselves up to double digits.
Yeah, that's just tough, and because I'm gonna take a wild guess here, Q, that they've been buying up, forcing every round like they have been for Curry.
We saw that before we went to break. Yeah,
just decimates their economy, except for their ultimate economy, which
still 4.
Yeah, I mean, puts into question why it's not being used, but regardless, it's understandable. Speaking of ultimate, Zombie gonna get theirs, and that's gonna be huge for them. I think Phoenix is doing a really good job of disrupting this like walk up, right? It's really good for them.
Fire's out.
Unfortunately, we'll end up
he's just out of the round.
Yeah, Jordan turns the corner, finds the Eddie, has to worry about the high and the low, finds the high, but Snot Donkey turns the corner. It will be Gav with the magic fingers here, gonna turn things up. Only has one last player to find. We'll step. We're not gonna talk about it here, as Harry's the last one left alive. Oh, Harry gonna be able to find one. Zombie eventually puts him down. Waynesburg up to 11.
Just overheating, just having a grand old time.
Switching sides.
And what a dominant showing. I mean, I feel like this replay is downright dubious because of how intense Waynesburg was. Now, to be fair, both teams are playing double duelist compositions. My big critique is just the ultimate utilization was just not there, right? A lot of times people get a little worried about, whether they want to use it or not, but I feel like you lose it, right? You're not saving it for the second half, are you? Like, that's not really the goal here. Oh, we cut at the perfect timing. Perfect cut.
10 seconds as we get ready to roll into round number 13. Waynesburg has won 11 of the last 12. At least for Curry this time around, it's identical artillery on both sides as we have switched sides, and now will be Waynesburg who will be on the defensive. They're going to look to push over towards B, but has been red. Jordan and Lorena both going to be able to find one. Fell finds a third. Curry left at 2, and this push has come to a standstill.
Just caught off with a lot of utility. Saw that it was. They tried to push into a trip without of the team flash plus pushing into the trip, like the way that was set up, which felt like a little rough. And now they try to go for this rotate, but Waynesburg's on for the chase. They have the numbers advantage. They're not even going to go for an exact cutoff. They're just immediately going to go for the fight. Galvin's going to fall as a result of it.
Marvin was able to find the right click, but Curry still at the disadvantage. 2v3 spike going down. Hold on though. Eternal Sam will be able to put down Waynesburg's Rana. Turns this thing into a 2v2. Fell looking to turn the corner. Ghost in hand will eventually be able to put down Eternal Sam. Fell left here. You've got the Neon right on the other side. Who's got the better draw? Marvin wins that one. Curry wins their second round.
Hey, good pistol to be picked up. It started off rather rough, especially considering how they played that. But I think it was, again, I will kind of put it on to Gavin, who's just got a little overheated, tried to run down through, got the first pick as a result of it, and it's kind of snowballed from there as they managed to get really good positions and put it into a 2v2 scenario for the side of Curry. Waynesburg on the other end of it, they're not buying up. They're playing Valorant, baby. We're doing what we need to be doing here. An eco round, an anti-bonus that's being played here by the side of Curry. We're not buying every single round. We're playing with multiple SMGs and a rifle.
I think this is a situation where you love to see the discipline from Waynesburg, right? Because they have been winning the majority of the rounds. I think it would be easy to be tempted to buy up and say, we've got the security of a 9-round lead. But instead, you mentioned they're playing Valorant, baby, taking it one round at a time. They're going to sit back with the classics in hand and might be able to find the opening pick. No, instead, Phoenix steps on through, and it's going to be all forward as a push on A.
I mean, Zombie finding a 2 there is a huge boon for them, but again, in the course of better weaponry, it always falls in favor of the team with the rifles. It's just a matter of the fact that Waynesburg, I think, is respecting their opponents a lot. They do not want to get caught off guard.
Spike planted.
Berg down to 2. At the disadvantage for the first time from really what we've seen on stream for the rounds that we've been able to catch. Fell and Jordan. Last 2 left alive. They will have the high-low to play with. I think Jordan has been spotted. Eternal Sam able to find the 4K. Curry get their first back-to-back rounds, but this is where Valorant really does start getting played. It's that 3rd round and a half where the rifles start to come out.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Marvin did not buy up, so that's 7K creds, but it seems like they might be having some desync issues, but I just wonder if they're going to buy up a hero rifle here. We already see Harry going for one as well. Regardless, the rest of the team is going to be going for that. It's a bit tough on the timing, and it gets bought up last second. I don't. Can we press tab again? Sorry for production. It's just didn't buy up a rifle. I mean, realistically, you're not supposed to. It's your bonus, but you're maxing out on creds, so it's a little bit of game sense in that moment.
Lockdown will be able to achieve as far as space here for Waynesburg. I think Jordan is safe all the way back in this corner, if I'm not mistaken, just barely, which probably is going to catch Curry off guard. The only problem is not able to land their shots. Again, Curry going to have the advantage. It's going to be 2v5 on the retake.
I'm a little surprised. This is supposed to be the anti-bonus, and it's played really well. It's off of a crucial ultimate that sways it in the favor of Curry.
Talked about the discipline as far as the last one of playing it like they had or they didn't have a lead. Well, maybe starting to feel that lead dwindle away. We'll start to have a little bit of pressure be put onto the shoulders here from this Yellow Jackets squad. The good news, I mean, you were up 11-1 at half, so even though you've lost 3 rounds in a row, you're still up by 7, so it's not like you're sweating much. But momentum can be a dangerous thing in esports, and I think despite the fact that this is a best of 3, it's not a super long series, you'd still like to end map 1 as quick as possible. I mean, you're only 2 rounds away if you're Waynesburg.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, they need to make sure that they're not letting anything slip through. And the fact that, honestly, in that round, in my mind, Q, that round felt like they could have won it because they stunted the attack side really well. It's just they didn't manage to capitalize on the timing to collapse on them, right? We talk about the Cypher trip. They went in. They had to use the Fade utility to get through it. They couldn't capitalize on that space. Jordan was in a prime position and just fell flat in terms of the frags.
Full push on to A as they're all gathered up. Hold on, Jordan's going to be able to find two, and Gabs is going to be able to find one as well. Waynesburg find themselves at quite the advantage. Marvelous Marvin, the last one left alive. They get put down with a headshot from Bell. That's a thrifty round, and that puts Waynesburg on map point.
A thrifty round found off of just really good positioning and just reading that they're going to be towards the A site. They're like, okay, this team is most likely stacked up here. We're going to go for it. And again, maxed out credits for the Marvin and just not buying up for the teammates, not buying up for it. It feels very disjointed out of Curry. Like there's not much else to add in terms of that analysis. It's a full buy coming out for Waynesburg. Ultimates might come into play realistically. Jordan's the only one that I can think of if they push in deeper into the B site and he can pop it off.
So Marvelous Marvin end up buying the op there. Said, you know what? I got a lot of credits. I might as well max these things on out. Could very well be the last round.
Teammates, like there's a lot in that.
Oh, Fell finding two to open things up here in the courtyard. I thought was going to be able to put down her area. The good news is not dead yet. Reyna going to be able to find two here, however, which means the last one left is Marvelous Marvin, has the op in hand, and I'm pretty sure their location has been given away here.
I mean, they're going to be able to find one, but it should be a done scenario as they greed for a rifle, and it just does not work in their favor. Interesting game, a bit tough for the side of Curry, but Waynesburg is going to pick it up 13-4 in their favor. More than any of that, it just seems like they know how to play the game, right? They have a really good set of coordination. For Waynesburg, it's not obviously, you know, it's still in the bustling stages of the season, so it's not like too deep into their run for me to say that it's, you know, perfect. There's still some small dents they need to iron out in their armor before they can come through, especially on that defensive side. But regardless, I think they managed to recollect themselves really well and understand that they could just gamble stack, they win the gamble, and then they play just solid defense on the better weaponry.
They looked pretty solid, if you ask me. 13-4, can't ask for too much more. Yeah, I mean, you were up 11-1, maybe clean things up a little bit quicker, but hey, you know what? A W is indeed a W. It's a best of 3, though. You have to win 2 maps in order to call yourselves victorious in NECC regular season play. So you know what? We're going to take ourselves a quick break, and on the other side, we've got Lotus, map number 2. Make sure you don't go nowhere. We'll be right back.
I'm stuck inside of these walls with you. I don't recognize who I've turned into. I'm losing hope and getting myself back. Everything around me is starting to turn black. Don't tell me you're hurting again. Tell me how wrong I am. Tell me how it's all my fault. Yeah, I've met my match again, starting from scratch again. Where's the pleasure in all this pain? Don't you lie to me. Say it's all okay when it feels like I'm drowning sound. You've conquered the best of me, could have just set me free. Games that you play and just said goodnight. And now I'm beside myself, don't want your fucking help. Let me just go, let me just go. And don't you lie to me, say it's all okay. When it feels like I'm drowning, I hate to say goodbye, but it's time to go. All I need is someone else.
Paralyze my heart. Don't wanna feel your touch like ice, tracing all my scars. Why is it hurt on the inside? It's unforgivable, but I forgive you every time. Hard to let it go, 'cause we're intertwined. I break you, you break me, but something about it makes us whole, baby. Every piece keeps us together
And we are back, getting ready to head into map number 2 here for Waynesburg's opening week matchup here versus Curry College for NECC action. We just got done with the Ascent, and I know we kind of rushed to break. Let's just reflect back on that here for just a moment, seeing Jordan stepping up as your MVP, sitting at 22-9. I think the big thing for me really is seeing both them and Zombie kind of being able to lead the way, kind of going back and forth between the two. Whenever you have multiple players popping off, lets you know you're on the right foot.
Yeah, truly, right? It's nice back and forth. The thing that I really wanted to just take note was just like the bottom of the scoreboard for Curry. I want to see kill participation out of Curry this game, right? Just being active, more alive in terms of just getting those frags. Immediately Zombie on. Okay, this is a very weird comp. The insta-lock ISO is just something that I find fascinating, for lack of a better word. Like, it's like, wow, Waynesburg is locked and loaded and they're ready. This comp is locked in for them, I guess. Double duelist yet again. Duelist composition changes. I feel like they're going to play sort of kind of like an initiator with ISO, but I don't know exactly how it's going to be. Regardless, it still tracks.
I think what's interesting is the distinct difference between the two teams. Waynesburg comes in, despite the fact that it might not be the normal sort of lineup that you expect to see on Lotus. Like, you get 5 players, they're all in. They're not just hovering, that they're locked into those 5 agents. Curry's still figuring out what they're wanting to do over on the opposite side of the server, which I think almost kind of leads to what we had seen in map number 1, right? Sheer dominance from Waynesburg. It felt like every time that they were looking to make a move as a team, they were very much together, whereas Curry kind of felt like they were guessing at times. It just feels like Waynesburg very confident what they're wanting to do next.
As for Curry, I don't know what their composition is going to look like exactly. For Waynesburg, I do like the double duelist look. Has been nice. Having the solo initiator Gecko seems a little bit rough, but it's going to be way easier to coordinate. Tejo being picked up as well as another ISO mirror is interesting, to say the least, right? Tejo's got a very particular play style. I know G2 Esports really loves Tejo, and they're Tejo merchants, right? They just qualified for the playoffs of the championships. But I think that it is a very high skill ceiling agent, and I wonder what Harry's going to be able to bring out here for that agent, and if they have scrimmed and worked that agent within their composition, or if it's just something of a gut call, just because they feel like, oh, you know, it was good once before, let's see if it still fits in the meta, without really understanding the dichotomy of how Tejo actually fits currently within this meta. Because if you look at the rest of the team and what they have a lot of really good utility on the duelist side for the entry, but they don't have anything in terms of hard flashes. The only flash that they have is a near sight out of Reyna. On the flip side, you don't really have, you also don't have hard flashes. You have Gecko flash, but at least at that point, you do have a dedicated initiator with rechargeable utility. That utility can come back. As for Harry, it cannot. That's going to be the key difference in terms of the initiator contact.
Round number 1, the pistol. Let's get down to it, as it does look like Curry opting to push over here towards A. They will find 2 picks after Waynesburg finds the initial opening frag. Those rotations will start rolling in as far as for now. I do believe that was Jordan, if I'm not mistaken, within the Cypher. It was on that flank on the rear side. There is Czar is going to be able to find one. That puts it into a 3v3. Yeah, the spike is down, but 2 frags coming out, 1 for either side. Jordan, I thought, was going to be able to find that final headshot before the ice wall was able to finish coming its way on up. But it is 2v1 numbers in favor of Waynesburg, as they'll be able to take round number 1.
Yeah, again, just not seeing, not really understanding, I think, what the benefit of Tejo is in that moment, as well as just the rest of the composition that Curry's running. Yeah, they get onto the site, they plant, they do a lot, they deny, they even funnel the sight line in with a sage wall, but it just doesn't seem to really function for them. I get, again, with these buys, man, they're killing me. They're killing my poor Valorant heart, because it's like, this is just a bit rough. They're buying up ghosts and light shields, and it's just like they're gonna ruin their economy. On the flip side, it's just straight up marshals, sheriffs. I mean, if they're gonna go for a buy, at least just go G2 Stinger, or go for like the buy. Like, just go for the buy. Don't, you know, give me a partial look here.
Feels like all or nothing, definitely the idea. I mean, you understand maybe wanting to just put it on Sam just because you're looking for them to be your big entry point. Maybe find one and trade out a rifle, but it's still a full investment, as it will be a repeat of that last exec, just pushing down A. This time, though, looking to potentially kind of rotate their way through door. 2 players will be on the flank here for Waynesburg. So they're going to have to start pushing quick, fast, and in a hurry, as both Gabsel and Quasar both going to be able to find those picks. 3 players left alive for Curry, and with your Sage already sitting at half life, you do have to worry about if you've got enough HP into the tank. It's going to be a clean round for Waynesburg. 4 players left standing as they're now up 2-0.
And we press tab and we look at exactly what Nerds has been complaining about and why they've been yelling and groaning about this buy up that we see. It's fractured, right? It's just simply not fully there. Some players can't buy up as much. You have Bulldogs, Spectres, and I mean, Snot can even buy like a full rifle, but they're not, because it's just a fractured economy. And it just puts into question a lot of what's happening. Regardless, on the flip side though, for Waynesburg, everything's looking pretty solid. They're just full ecoing this round. If they could pick up the bonus, the anti-bonus doesn't go in favor of Curry, and they do play it correctly, this is going to be another really strong and dominant start for Waynesburg.
Things rolling here, pushing through Mount. Does look like Waynesburg has the read. They've got at least 2 players over there for now. The wall will allow for the rotate on in. Jordan gonna be able to find 1. Fortunately, Zombie does get taken down, so that evens up the numbers at least temporarily. It does look like this spike should be able to get planted. The question is, can Curry hold on to site?
I mean, they already have a player playing towards Mound. They have Sage on the site. I would like Sage to kind of swap a little bit here, but it seems like they're just trying to maintain positions, and that's good to hear.
Lewis Marvin going to be able to find a 3rd. That's all 3 frags in the round. Sam trying to find 1, but will get put down by Fell. Marvelous Marvin eventually gets found. It's left to a 1v1. Jordan versus Snot Donkey. Snot Donkey does have the SMG, and that'll be the first round on the board for Curry.
Debating on what gun to pick up. They pick up the Bulldog, not the Vandal or the Phantom. But the anti-bonus works in favor of the team that has the better weaponry, and Waynesburg is not able to bonus that round up. Now, though, look at what we see. Zombie again on an op. I love this way better. Give me the ISO op instead of the breach op. The ISO op, way cleaner in the sense of that you can pop it, the shield, pop a player, fall back, maybe whip out your classic, get the double tap if you really need it. Regardless, it gives you more than just a one and done position. You can probably play into 2 different angles immediately after and just manually reposition. It's not going to find any contact. I just realized they're all walking towards the A site, just trying to rush on in through it to try and recapture that fire in a bottle.
Push quickly here and see if they can get this spike down. Let's look what kill contract picks up 1. Emo will lose it though, as Gabsel will be able to win. Quasar gonna be able to find 1. Marvelous Marvin pops the not dead yet. Should be able to get to safety. Able to put Gabsel down on the ground as well. But Marvelous Marvin, the last one left alive, turns the corner. Jordan already aiming down sight. Waynesburg able to keep 3 standing as they win their 3rd round.
Clove's ultimate, so powerful to use in that moment. And Marvelous Marvin, it has been one of like the top performers for this team, right? A little slow in the very first game, having a bit of a tough time, but now that they've swapped a different role, they can play still super aggressive on that Clove while also not needing to sacrifice too much. But again, this was a round picked up by Waynesburg. We still have the op, we still have some ultimates, 2 off for Quasar and Fell. So much going in their favor. On the flip side for Curry, it's still a bit tough, right? I mean, they do have an ult for resurrection if they need it, but on this eco round, they're just gonna try and find something out of nothing. Something towards C potentially. No.
Again, minimum, you at least like to try to make this round expensive. Team IMO will be able to trade out Quasar, who had taken down Harry. You got the spike down the middle, well, not down, but you got the spike potentially looking to rotate towards B. Zombie turns the corner, going to be able to take down Marvelous Marvin. Does look like the B rotate is going to be the play. The only problem is you've got all players from Waynesburg starting to close on in. You've got Team IMO and Snot Donkey kind of in the situation here where you've got a potentially full send. Unless you send Snot Donkey through the door, nobody's over towards C. You can still get the spike down, but get shot from behind.
Man. The timings are just so off cue, right? As they're trying to enter in, they're getting bombarded with stall utility, and at this point, Team IMO has got the world on their shoulders, which they can't even carry considering the myriad of utility, and it comes back down to, like I was saying, the hard initiator. If you're playing Taeho, you cannot have Taeho be the only initiator, right? You take a look at the concepts that we see out of G2 esports, just to keep hammering that in terms of the basic strategy. You need a hard flash. You play Yoru, you play Taeho, you play Fade. You have info, you have stall, you have denial, as all those key elements of TAC FPS that we just don't see out of Curry. So what I want to see out of Curry is to get super unique, get creative, try and do something silly, because that's how they're going to win in this game. And they haven't been finding that mark. It just simply hasn't been there yet.
For the most part, rifles will be back in hand over on that Curry side. We've seen them push over on this A long side, I think 4 of the 5 rounds in the past. So not surprised to see them doing the same here. Same thing as to not be surprised to see Waynesburg on the flank. 2 players opting to move that way. Close in on Curry here.
I don't think I'm a fan of the Reyna with the spike.
Poor K.
I mean, you're playing the entry here, right? You shouldn't really be holding on to that, trying to potentially go for the mid frag. Like right now, they're being boxed in like a fish. And Waynesburg still has an ultimate to work with, multiple if they need it. Jordan's just going to find a 2-piece really quickly here. Eternal Sam was the first to go down. You're in the front line of duty. And you just gift them not only the bomb, but also that positioning. Such a slow play in towards the A site. I mean, look, we get to see it from the replay's perspective as well. Jordan was able to inch their way back in off of this sardine can play. And they just encapsulate because they have been doing the same thing. It makes Curry super easy to read within this moment. And like we see in the very bottom left live chat, they're going to keep buying up, and Waynesburg's just going to be eating it up, right? They don't need to invest ultimates when they know that they can win rounds like this super consistently. And unlike the prior game where Curry wasn't using ultimates, Waynesburg doesn't need to use ultimates. They're still able to find success without them, so there's just no point.
Gun here.
Curry seems to be back to that grasping at straws point, right? They're like, hey, you know what? Give me an SMG. Give me a half shield. I need something against this Waynesburg squad that seems to be continuing to win rounds, but those half buys versus the full buys continue to struggle here for Curry. Team IMO will be able to put down Quasar, but Curry still at the man at disadvantage as they do look to potentially push this thing towards B. The only problem, Gavsel on the other side. Zombie takes down Marvelous Marvin, which means it will be Snot Donkey. The last one left up. Paint shells come in, leaves them standing right in the crosshairs of Gavsel, and Waynesburg. Have another strong round on the board, nerds.
And again, we're talking about ultimates. They can just rotate them out. Like as soon as they need to use them, they can, right? And now look, Gavsel's already charged up to 2. You have Quasar, who's going to probably find theirs rather quickly. It's just a bit tough. I would love to see a trap play here out of the Armageddon. I don't want to see them use it for post plant because they haven't been able to get the plant down at all successfully. I think a trap play would be really crucial here, but I don't think they're going to go for it. So because of that, stack towards the A is going to be read into. We should immediately see, yeah, Zombie get a popping 1 and making it just a race to how fast Zombie can find this ace.
Okay.
That's the real question, right? For me.
Oh, how many more times are we going to step out in the crosshair? Somebody's got to find a way to take down Zombie. That's a 4K right there. Looking for the ace, going to step through with the classic. And it's going to be an ace by Zombie. It's 7-1 for Waynesburg.
I think the replay kind of speaks for itself in terms of the macro strategy for Curry. Just keep going towards A and then just keep losing. And that's not something that can be done. Just a lot that needs to be worked on for Curry here in this game. But, you know, it's the beginning of the season. I'll give a lot of hope to the fact that it is the beginning of the season and that we have a little bit of time for Curry to develop as a team, because I always want to be hopeful within these commentary segments. Okay.
From week number 1 from Waynesburg, though. I mean, 7-1, feeling comfortable. Here's Curry going to be able to find some access room over towards B. A small delay will allow for the rotates to come in from Waynesburg. Jordan's actually going to be able to slow down this push. Finds one, won't be able to find the second.
And this vulnerable comes in at the perfect timing, denies the heal. So now the damage will stick onto Curry. They use these ultimates to crunch on the sites, and at that point just crumbles to pieces.
Marvin, last one left alive, but it's the
No
1v4.
Wait, they ulted them.
Tough. Almost feels like a waste of an ult, though. No. You already won the round.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't feel like it's a well timed ultimate. I think it was just for the aura, truly. But
Or I guess maybe it guarantees that you can only get one more player left instead of turning the corner and getting like a lucky spray and pray and taking 2 down, right? Like you can only win the kill contract, right? And at that point, the fuse has already come across.
legitimately, like, it's blanking in my mind. Like, it's actually blanking in my mind, like, why they ulted there. It seems like it might have been a misclick is gonna be what I categorize it as, or a panic ult in the middle of the moment. Because at this point, Waynesburg's up 8-1. They did lose a player here, but they have not been losing their downtrodden numbers. They are really good in these 4-5s.
They don't get their first one. They seem to be good at getting the next two ones to be able to put things back into their advantage. It will be a resurrection, though, from Snot Donkey to be able to put numbers more into favor of Curry. Hold on just a second, though. Bell looking to work some magic. My buddy gets thrown out at the wrong time, though. That means the gunny is put away, allows for them to fall. Kassar going to be the last one left alive. 1v3. Those numbers just ain't nothing to me, as Curry going to be able to put a second round on the board.
We can stand around all day talking about killing them.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a bit unfortunate for Waynesburg in terms of just firepower. Finally, we get to see Curry just step up to bat. And realistically, the macro game plan hasn't changed. They're just shooting better. And that's honestly, that's kind of what it is sometimes in the game of Valorant, is that, in the immortal words of Brennan. I don't even know what his last and middle name are, but in terms of Brennan Sideshow, like Bren, one of the glorious casters that we've had in VCT, it's an FPS game. You kind of just need to shoot, and aim is really important. That's why they have the double duelists in the first place.
Well, what's the old the soundbite? You click their heads and they die. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I feel like that soundbite's so dramatic and a little inappropriate sometimes, but no, he's not wrong.
As long as you can hit your shots, it's all you need. Waynesburg going to be playing at the disadvantage one more time as that opening frag found by Curry. Gabsel turns the number slightly into their advantage before Eternal Sam able to put them down. Jordan will be found, but that's only after they find a singular frag. So the Tsar going to be one of the last two players left alive. Turns this into a 2v2. Now in a 1v2 as Harry takes down Fel. Kazar on the backside of this play as well. The spike's down, however, so Curry does have to take a more slow approach here. Tejo still left alive with Marvelous Marvin, but it will eventually be a stray shot from Harry that puts Kassar down. Curry up to 3.
Last round in the half.
Oh man. At this point, right, like, it is again just the momentum. Like, I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. It's like, it's just a momentum, and I think that Waynesburg is getting a little antsy because they've been getting away with so much, and now it's like, okay, hey guys, this is still a game that you guys need to win, and they're getting a little overly comfortable, which happens a lot of times, right? Like, mentally it does happen, and an 8-4 half is actually not bad in terms of a rebound for Curry. They do not want this to happen. Immediately off the opener, it's still looking glum. They've now started to lose these 4v5 engagements, so... Oh, no, they're still pushing out.
It's worth noting, though, the 8-4 would still be more of Curry trying to make things manageable as they are getting ready to rotate over to the defensive side of things after this round. Kassar steps around the corner, going to be able to find one. Not going to be able to find a second, but not dead yet. Not going to be given the space. Oh my God.
Another one?
Oh, this is going to be not dead yet, though. Can you chase them down? Yes, you can. Turn things into your favor. It's 2v2. Unfortunately, Harry puts down Gabsel, which means it's all left.
Oh, this is winnable.
Player.
They have ult. Yes, they have this ult. Finally, there we go. This is some good strategy. GG.
One enemy remaining.
On.
No way. Okay.
Kassar found a way to bounce that back. That would have been the
homie was a Beyblade out there.
Play of the
Switching
century. Just because
not
he
a mini
already made the one
boost.
turnaround, but that was crazy.
He really went Beyblade, let it rip with that spin on the mouse and keyboard. But at the end of the day, I was saying like, this is so winnable. Please see the blunder. Please see the checkmate that you can find, and they do. So Curry really developing in these last couple of rounds, showcasing us that, hey, you know, they might have just needed that little warm up at the beginning. This still is anyone's game. 8-4 is not a bad half. I mean, I will say it's a little tough that you got 8-4 on the attack side. Yeah, but still doable overall.
Yeah, I feel like Lotus is one of those interesting maps too, though. Like, as much as you do see it as generally a more attack-sided map, I feel like Lotus can very well be a momentum map at times as well, especially when you find a way to shut down on the A side on the defense. So maybe something that Curry can hold on to as they switch over to the defense. It's the pistol round. Zombie looking to lead the charge. Shots fired. Good space for Gabsel to step through to find 2. Now trying to clear the rest of the backside of the side as Czar finds 3rd. Zombie finds the 4th. This is going to be another clean round from Waynesburg on the pistol.
I think I really enjoy the way that they thought of the Tejo tech, right? It's to slow down the site exec and allow for those rotates. They just were not able to capitalize on the spacing that they made. And that's a bit rough, right? They didn't displace the spike planter. They still had a lot of tree control. So realistically, it was just a bit tough. And this double pistol being picked up by Waynesburg really puts them in a good spot to close out the game.
Spy up here from Curry. Does get put away. Finally showing discipline, which I'm sure nerds will be happy to see over on the other side as long as Harry puts the ghost away. Thank you very much. But yeah, that does mean that they are starting to pay a little bit more attention to that econ. Puts a little bit more stress onto Waynesburg, I would feel like, because it's showing that Curry has maybe turned the tide and playing more discipline, not just in the economy, but maybe in their game plan as well.
Potentially. They're just going to break through this wall to not allow them the satisfaction. No, they're going to just enter onto the C site. This exec's going to be a bit rough, but it's possible.
Full send. Kazar's going to be able to find the first with the stinger. Gabsol steps on over, finds 2 with the stinger as well. Eternal Sam's on the backside, takes down Zombie. Has to look on both sides, finds 3. Can you find the 4th? Not sure what resolution y'all are watching this in chat, but that does indeed look like a 4K to me by Gabsol.
Solid stuff. Shots, they land. The plays they hit, I mean, they just had the better weaponry, so they're like, yeah, you know, even though we do have a Sage Wall and they probably already rotated onto here, we could just win off of plays and just shooting them with our stingers. And that's exactly what Gabsel decided to do. We see there in the replay just a couple of really solid timings out of them. Like I said, the double pistol does put them in such a good spot to close out the series, as it gets them to double digits on a borderline guaranteed second round.
This is where the rifles will start coming into play here for Curry. It feels like it's now or never if you want to have a chance at the comeback. It's straight through the smoke there with the second shot rings through, and neither of those are going to be able to find their mark. But fully grouped up together, here is Waynesburg. They're looking to make their push over here onto A. The only problem, Curry has this red. They've got 4 of their 5 players already over here.
Waiting slowly. I mean, this is possible here for them to bring it back. Wow, they do such a good job on that hold. This is way better on their stall in terms of execution for Curry. Oh no! What?
Okay. Well, Kassar just took a whole wrench and threw it right in the middle of that. Gonna be able to find the 3K. Marvelous Marvel, the last one, or Marvelous Marvin, the last one left alive. Outlaw in hand, has to fall back because of that reload. It gives Zombie the room to be able to get this spike down, and now it's gonna be 2v1, and the only problem for Curry, Marvelous Marvin only sitting on about 50 HP.
I mean, at this point, you also are playing in such a great position for Quasar. This is kind of over, regardless of where you peak, right? If Zombie loses that fight there, Quasar is ready to re-swing off of them. They pick up the bonus. They did such a good job on the stall as well. But all it takes is one standout player to just rise through the absolute trenches that they were thrust into and just realize, hey, I have a stinger and this is the best weapon in the game by far. So I'm just gonna run into players and shoot them, take them out of this game, pick up 3 rounds in a row. Last time on the anti-bonus, the team managed to pick things up for Curry. This time it didn't happen. So now they have a buy up here with rifles v rifles. I wonder if they don't blunder this one.
Waynesburg 1 round away from being 1 round away, and because of the investment here from Curry, as much as we had said last chance was their last chance, mathematically looking at the econ, they lose this one. They're going to be walking into what could potentially be the last round with nothing but pistols and maybe half shields in their hand. The showstopper comes into play, not going to be able to find its mark. Curry has already lost a player. Gavsel strays through the wall, fell, eventually ends up finding the frag. Quasar also putting one down as well. Eternal Sam almost gets put down through the smoke. But it is going to be 2v3. Snot Donkey needs to find one. Zombie finds them instead. Quasar finds the 3K, and Waynesburg 1 round away from the dub.
Point.
1 round between them, and they picked up the rifle, meaning that they are very confident the way that they've been playing these rounds. It's going to take a lot out of Curry, right? They had a couple of good rounds, whether it's troll by Waynesburg or pressure off them. I'm going to say it's pressure by them, stepping up to the bat. They need to go and hit a home run here, right? That's what they're going to need to do consistently. The problem is 1 home run isn't going to be enough. They need 8 in a row. An entire baseball innings worth of home runs need to be hit within the matter of a couple of seconds. And they cannot miss a single ball here. 1 strike and you are out.
A full send here towards Mound for the Yellow Jackets. They've already got that ice wall broken down enough to be able to push towards C, if that's what they want it to be. Does look like they're gathered up for that potential. Maybe pivot towards door if they opt to rotate away, which might not be too bad of an idea, as it does seem like Curry all but ready for this potential push. They'll at least fall back for now, and yeah, it's gonna be a push towards B, and with the defense from Curry already rotated over towards that C site, they're gonna have complete control.
Oh yeah, this is really comfortable here. And yes, Team I is going to get 1, but they're going to get another immediately. Quasar gets their ultimate off and online, and Quasar has been really good for these picks, so they're going to find it, and it's a 5v2.
Oh yeah!
Looks like it's all but a formality. Jordan, however, will fall. That gives Quasar the green light to turn the corner.
Wow.
Final 2, 13-4 for Waynesburg.
And a bunch of other times after that.
A wild scenario indeed here, Q. It is a tough thing to see for these rosters, especially so early on. But again, it is so early on for Curry. So if you're watching out there and you're a Curry fan or a Curry player, just understand that it is the beginning of the season. There's a lot that they can adapt. And yes, we could be negative sometimes, but it's all in favor to make sure that these teams can thrive, because we all want to see close games. I would never want to see a team lose, not get a single round. Showing some show of force is always lovely to see, and that's what they did here today. Bare minimally, they did a lot in terms of development for this team, and hopefully we could see them shine. But for Waynesburg and the Yellow Jackets, they are the ones who are going to sting today as they fly and claim a victory here the very first week of NECC Valorant.
And remind me, it was 13-4 map 1 as well, right?
I believe so.
I mean, back-to-back, very, very strong performances. And, one thing that we had talked about, and we were kind of tossing back and forth when we looked at the initial map pool, was it felt like you were probably going into a week where you weren't wanting to give too much away. It definitely felt like on the offensive side on both maps, we really only kind of saw maybe a very small handful of strats. It didn't feel like you really gave away too much. So to be able to walk away with a win like this has to have you feeling good. However, when we do start to look and think towards next week, where they do take on Mercyhurst Varsity, the number 1 seed in Division 1, that team also walked away with a sweep today. As far as map number 2, though, got to give it up to Quasar. 28-12. Had a dominant map number 2.
Huge ups for them here. Quasar just feeling themselves, right? Truly 2 worlds in terms of the first map and the second map. Regardless, though, I just love that they swapped Zombie onto a Duelist, right? If you're going to give someone the ability and the fealty to just run in there with an op in hand, put him on ISO, give him your Urena chamber, like something for that utility. And I think that swap was another really big up for them. Maybe not as impactful in terms of kills, but just impactful in terms of just having space to control, because you were always worried if you're on the Curry team if there's going to be an op on the other end of it. But regardless, a 2-0, a swift one for Waynesburg here today.
Yeah, results and reasons are the two things that are usually come from any matchup, and it's the results that really matter more than anything. So starting off with a dub in week number 1 definitely has to have you feeling good if you're a Waynesburg fan. If you are a Waynesburg fan, it's your first time through over here on the TEC channel over here on the Esports Company Twitch channel. If you haven't already done so, make sure you hit that follow button down below and turn those notifications on. That way we can catch you when we go live. Like I was mentioning earlier at the top of things, we've got more Waynesburg action for the rest of the week. Obviously, we had Valorant today, Marvel Rivals tomorrow, Rocket League on Wednesday, and then we'll have Overwatch 2 on Friday as well. Nerds, it was an absolute blast being able to jump up on the desk with you and get to run things back. It's been a while since you and I have gotten to do some yapping, and I think first time we've gotten to do so on the Valorant side of things. So that was definitely a whole lot of fun. Of course, you and I, we do have the easy job. We got to make sure we're giving a big shout out to our producer in the background, Nick NCS, pressing all the buttons, giving us all the views, letting us stay locked in through everything over the course of the day.
I love the
Yeah.
irony that we shout out Nick and Nick has to press a button to shout to put the thing up there. But I also want to give Nick a hype because Nick is also observing while doing this stuff. So W ups for Nick. I want to say that piece before we head off here.
Yeah, it is another great night. Again, make sure you guys are locked in for some more Waynesburg action through the rest of the week. But until we catch y'all back for the next one, man, don't forget, with everything crazy going on in the world today, be true, be you, be sincere. Game hard and love hard. All right, y'all. That's Nerds. I'm Q. For the rest of the crew here from the front to the back, y'all have a great rest of your week. Peace.